Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. Day 4, another day in Tectum Carvos. We continue. We're running out of labor, but we'll try our best. Most of the morning flies by as the council convenes to talk strategy. There is still no word about the Ascori, and Prince Karim says it's best to forsake hope that they will appear. The prefectus is made aware of the plan in excruciating detail and seems unimpressed, although he tells the gathering that he will go along with what you started. That is for the best, because reportedly, Kral Hystera is still holed up in the tower to the south, slowly losing ground to the Wyrms that keep burrowing into the hard rock, collapsing parts of the jagged cliff into the stands. Prince Karim proposes to wait some more, at least several days before committing to the final confrontation. Until then, more Wyrms will arrive, leading to a more decisive battle. You spend hours discussing strategies, supplies, and logistics until finally the council retires. The day drags on. An alarm is raised in the afternoon, and your horrified Komes inform you that apparently the Wyrms found a way into town. Gathering your companions, you quickly set out to where the commotion is the thickest, and are surprised to find people running around in a panic at the entrance to the caves, where most of the supplies are kept. When you arrive, bands of courageous commoners are forming with the intent of going down into the tunnels and hauling up as much of the food as possible. Yet you know that some of the Wyrms got through and have to be fought. Deciding not to bide your time while precious supplies might be damaged, you lead the foray into the caves and run into sandworms almost right away. Well, that's not good. Oh, hey, we get some guys. Yeah. I almost wonder if it would be good to, like, rotate out our, like, A squad with some of our... Well, really just Ren. Yeah, I think Ren and Harvick can kind of alternate with each other. There's not a lot of armored guys. I know some of the basic Wyrms have armor anyway, but Kreefta, Harvick, and Ren have armor-piercing attacks, and I don't think magic is affected by armor either. Maybe it is, and I'm wrong about that, but I think Ren should get in there a little bit to just do some damage to people. Oh, crit for 9 right off the bat. Fantastic news. Let's see, what are you good at? Scimitar cut? Accurate. Bloodletting slash? I think we want to go for the kill on this guy right off the bat. How much damage do you do? 2 to 3? 2 to 4? 0. 1 to 4. Let's do the 2 to 4 plus bleed. Excuse me, you said 2. I guess he has armor. I was going to say 2 to 4. I've been lied to. Ouch, he took a chunk out of my spear guy. Try to kill this frenzied worm. Yes, 1 down. That one moves around. Oh, I've been acided. Maybe just the basic worm. Double dagger throw for 5. And then, what does this do? What's this called? Tripping jab? I think we just do a basic spear jab. For 1. Dude, Earth Tribesman. Holy hell! Earth Tribesman, you need to, like, start pulling your weight, my man. Crit for 9 again. Fantastic news. Slash him. Dodge the acid. Double! And a crit for a kill! Holy hell, Harvick! He's almost down. Oh, he evaded me. Twice! Rude! Slash this guy. For 4. Well done. Now kill him, please. Yes. Go for the greenie. Oh my god. Go for him again. Alright, for 5. Kick him to the... No, maybe kick this guy to the back. I don't know if he can do anything back there. Also, I don't know if you can kick a worm that way. That doesn't seem accurate, like something you could do. Like, imagine a worm... or a snake, or anything sticking its head out of the ground, and you're like, I'm gonna kick you. It just doesn't seem like it would work. Oh, you moved him off of the ward, you idiot. They're so evasive. Get some more bloodletting going. Let's do an accuracy on this guy. Holy hell, you guys. All right, he moved up. We got a slash off. Throw another ward. Double burn. Good dodge, or miss, I guess. And then try to kill this green guy. Yep, 1 down. Crit for 9, fantastic news. And then throw knives. Do you think, like, if he evades initially, he automatically evades both of them? It seemed to be the case. Your companions crush the Wyrms, and the citizens rush into the room to grab the supplies and haul as much out as they can. Soon the roof of the chamber begins to crack, and you order everyone outside, and just in time. The room collapses due to the damage the creatures did to the walls. However, most of the supplies are safe and undamaged. You have little time to savor this victory, however. We got morale. Well done. The dust barely settles when you begin to hear desperate cries from down a tunnel. Civilians appear from out of there in a few moments, begging you to follow them and help break their friends and loved ones out from their predicament. It appears they are now trapped in a storage room, cut off by the sandworms that dug their way in somehow. Without hesitating, you charge in that direction, followed by some Sadirar shamans and your Komes, only to run into the Wyrms. Oh no! Let's see here. Harvick, you need to sit this one out, my man. Nadir, are you doing okay? Yeah, she's fine. She's just a little beat up. Yeah, this looks okay. We got two mages this time instead of Spear Boy and Sword Guy. Let's break the armor on the armored worm. Good dodge. Do you think he still gets digested even though he blocked it? Ouch. I did see somewhere that people recommended getting a lot of resistances because that's very helpful against the Wyrms. I should have thought of that before coming to the city. Oh man. Because there's not a whole lot I can do about that now. Alright, double up the fireball. Hitting the armored worm and the frenzied worm is pretty good. What does this do? Earthquake 1 to 2, and it hits everybody. Or Stone Skin, which would buff one of our dudes. Earthquake everybody. I like that. And then you have the same moves as Nadir, it looks like. Oh-ho! Double 4. He moved forward. Interesting. Hey, and I killed you. Let's try to stun the greenie. Yes, it worked. Mostly I hate it when the green guy decides to burrow. That's very annoying. Go ahead and kill the armored worm. You did it. I'm proud of you. Oh, boy. Earthquake again. Oh, you got a crit in there. Neat. And then just throw... Oh, that's not a ward. That's Guiding Flame. I think I'll try to fireball this guy. It worked. I think we try to stun the healthiest guy. I think they're the same health. Okay, we didn't stun him. Rude. All right. New strategy. Everybody try to kill the worm on the left. You didn't attack the guy who's blocking. Aw, man. Alright. Let's Stone Skin Elani. And then throw a ward down. And then buff Gorgoro? I don't know. You guys ran out of power real quick. Oh, a crit for 6 is fantastic news. Axe him. Let's see. Gorgoro, try to kill this guy. You did well. And then Nadir, just throw a ward under him. He evaded? Rude. Buff Scornar this time. And then Stone Skin Gorgoro. Spear me. Axe attack? Oh, crit for 8. Victory. That went much better. Harvick didn't get chewed down to 1 health or whatever. With the Wyrms slain, the civilians are rescued, and you can finally leave the deep caverns. When you emerge into the forum covered in dust and sand, as well as the foul blood of the creatures, you are welcomed by applause and praise. Yeah! You have lifted the spirits of the defenders and the town citizens alike. More morale! By the day's end, the tunnels that the Wyrms dug into are collapsed or sealed by other means, and the defenders of Tectum Karvos can finally rest. Evening arrives shortly thereafter. Well, that wasn't too bad, as far as, like, combat goes. Night settles on the besieged Tectum Karvos, and some of the defenders are trying to rest. Let's, I don't really need supplies. Let's harvest the Wyrms, and then ask for some healing. And I guess get some supplies, since we have the spare time. Turn in for the night, you go back, morning comes at last. Everybody's healed up, so we don't really need to use medicine. Keep our people working. We don't have many of them left, but might as well get some money. Another day in the city. The morning meeting of the leaders bears ill news. Kral Hystera is running out of time due to the Wyrms' continued efforts to dig under the tower's rock. They estimate that in about 4 days, the abominations will either reach them from below or collapse too much of the rock base into the sand for the Dark Elves to hold the fort. I say we attack in 3 days' time. That way, more Wyrms can amass for the final confrontation, Prince Karim suggests, and the council agrees. You also learn that the crystals carved by the magistrate's mages have been completed, and now the shamans are attuning their magic to them. Everything seems to be progressing adequately. Once you leave the war room, each one of you gets back to their duties and continues preparations for the battle to come. The day drags on. About 24 worm hunters seek you out early afternoon. Their leader explains that they saw you fight and decide to offer their services. It appears that they got fed up with freelancing in a besieged town. Some of them could be employed as fighters, others as scouts. Why would I not take all of them? Yeah, taking all of them. I can use more fighters. The worm hunters are grateful. Their good mood is contagious, which is rare in your predicament. They move in with the rest of the crew. +1 morale. Neato. Some of your komes approach you late afternoon to bring news of an escalating argument between legionnaires of the Avernus Legion and Prince Lakor's Dark Elves near your encampment. You head there immediately and see that quite the crowd has gathered around the two groups. The Dark Elven captain and the Centurion are shouting at each other while a handful of shamans are trying to calm them down, to little effect. Then suddenly weapons are drawn and you are afraid that a fight will break out momentarily. Perhaps if you try to subdue one side with your companions, you can prevent bloodshed, but it is a risky gambit. What are they fighting over? I guess we'll subdue the legionnaires? Got a bunch of shields? I assume you have... Oh, only 1 armor. That's not too bad. And we got a shaman. The one shaman who's like, hey, everybody calm down. I think once again, we want to send out like our weirdo B squad. So let's send... Oh, weird. Do you see how I can get away with... Oh, wait, I can't, I don't get away with it. Never mind. I was gonna say, do you see how I can get away with only having 6 people on board? But it said 6 out of 5. Do you think if I hit go... it doesn't seem to work. Alright, who do we want to not have out here? I think Aelani against these... Or, Nadir against these guys is gonna be pretty good. I think we would like to have Ren, like Garrick, just like a weirdo squad that I don't really care that much about. And then I guess Skornar is a good one because he's got a lot of armor. So I think this squad will be able to chunk through these guys and like keep my best fighters for fighting the Wyrms. We'll give it a shot. We've rolled well, so actually, Garrick, lead with your gas bomb. I don't think anybody actually got debuffed, which is not great. Let's boost Nadir so she double fireballs these guys on the left twice. That's pretty good. He moved, so let's double fireball the middle guys. And then incoming attacks. Ah, you shoved Garrick, you nerd. Haha! Take that. Ow. Double fireball. Ren, go for middle guy this time. 4 damage is great. Axe him. Shoot him. Maybe you shoot this guy. This would be overkill. Oh, and now double kill? Ah, none kill. I'm sad. And then you stab my mage. You nerd. Haha. All right, burn this guy to death. Now, stab him. And now there's just 1 guy left. So let's throw a ward. And then Garrick, why don't you jump in front of Nadir on the off chance that guy... Oops. I wanted to swap you with Ren. That's not what I intended to do. Let's just buff Ren. Stab him, I guess. Oh, for 8! Holy heck! And then the fireball. That went really well, considering we were using like a weirdo squad. Your companions and the shamans subdue the troublemakers until Prince Karim's Tarkian soldiers, Prince Lakor's majordomo, and the prefectus's commander arrived to put an end to the brawl. Unfortunately, some of the troublemakers were wounded in the skirmish. A meeting of the leaders is called almost right away. You go to the war room. The conversation in the war room quickly degenerates into a heated argument. Neither the prefectus nor the Dark Elf Prince wish to take responsibility for what happened. The strife between the two groups deteriorated when the Lekori drew their lithe-curved blades. Drawing blades in an argument is so uncivilized, he scoffs. Uncivilized? Only fools do not see that this is part of the Avernus Legion taking over, Lekor hisses. We would not let this slide were we in your place, Prince Kareem, or soon you will not have a town to run. Preposterous, the prefectus says, and you can see that his usual mask of calmness is cracking. What is preposterous and is your disrespect to nobility here? Prince Lekor stabs back, referring to himself and the Tarkian noble, and your incompetence to control your men. It was them that began pestering my soldiers, who merely defended themselves. By all accounts, this is what happened, the magistrate says, shrugging. Friends, friends, Prince Kareem raises his voice to prevent further strife. Please, this whole debacle is beneath you all. He looks at you with pleading eyes. True enough, as someone who had a key role in forging the alliance, your word in the matter would count for a lot. Try to smooth things over. We did. You managed to calm down the two rulers by saying the real enemy is currently out there beneath the sands, and should you keep bickering here, they will certainly use it to their advantage. There are so many of them now that an evacuation is impossible without thousands perishing. Besides, the prince is oath sworn to protect the town, while the prefectus should be more courteous with his allies. Otherwise, the sacrifice of those who die here or risk their lives like the Kraul will be in vain. If they truly value this town, they should act accordingly. Prince Lekor and the prefectus end up apologizing, albeit indirectly, and shake hands before the council retires for the day. Prince Kareem thanks you profoundly, citing that without you, all their efforts would be for naught. Tensions keep rising inside Tectum Karvos, but the crisis was averted. Plus morale. By the time the talks are over, the sun has settled and evening is upon you all. The day will soon come to an end. The days are boiling over. Requisition some supplies. And morning comes. We will rest, have our dudes work around town for a little bit. How's Harvick doing? He's down to 3. Nadir is down 2 health. Garrick's down 4. Scorner's down 1. Alright, I think just normal healing should be fine. There. Another day in the city. Most of the new day is spent on final preparations for the military maneuver envisioned as the final confrontation with the Wyrms. The crystal devices and the shamans are ready to unleash magic to bind the writhing horrors from fleeing. Most of the forces in the town are also now ready to go into battle. In council with the other leaders, you talk about the possibility that the Wyrms are somehow controlled or are themselves much more intelligent than anyone has given them credit for. Their constant coordinated attacks against the Krall's tower seem to indicate that they know not only that they can get to her by burrowing into hard rock, but also seem to expect you rushing to her rescue. The council remains disturbed by this revelation. The day drags on in besieged Tectum Karvos. Oh! With all of your komes having busily prepared for the coming battle for the last few days, you now have time for one last thing. Some trick or advantage to gain with the right kind of tools or expertise. Garrick can prepare a batch of bombs. The explosion would bring Wyrms to the surface. Or have Elani scout the terrain. You will be able to position better. What? What is the difference? Maybe we do a Lonnie? I feel like more Wyrms is bad. The day is coming to an end. You're about to complete your evening chores when a loud crashing sound echoes across the caverns of Tectum Karvos. It turns out that half of the Krall's tower has collapsed into the sands below the cliffs. You watch helplessly from the southern rock shelf as they are trying to pull the survivors from the debris in vain, because the swarming Wyrms grab them, pulling the screaming soldiers under the sand with violent force. What a way to go. Rough. At length, the Krall and her remaining warriors signal that they are safe, but that they cannot hold out much longer, as their supplies fell onto the sand with the debris of the tower. Prince Kareem announces that the waiting is over, and that the Alliance has to attack with the first light. You leave the rock shelf and return to your crew. Prepare for the night. Ask for a blessing, because we're going to fight tomorrow. Get some more supplies, because why not? And then the morning comes. Dudes keep on working. Next day. After a night of fitful rest, you rise early in the morning and gather your forces for the fight. Everyone else in the city is busy arming themselves and getting ready to move out. The rank and file of the Avernus Legion under their gray and silver banners, the gangs of the surviving worm hunters with their motley weaponry, Prince Lakor's elite soldiers in their dark armor, war bands of Sadirar tribal warriors and shamans in colorful garb, and the Hanjari troops of Prince Karim clad in black cloth. Even though your own forces are small compared to some of the armies here, you suspect that the leaders of the Alliance will assign a key role to you and yours. There is one last meeting in the war room to go over the battle plan. The plan is to march out onto the sand between the town's southern rock plateau and the crumbling watchtower, spread out and make it look like a desperate rescue operation. The Wyrms should catch the bait, especially because you have done something similar before when the Avernus Legion arrived a couple days earlier. When the sandworms swarm your forces, the Sadirar shamans will use earthquakes and tempestuous gales to bring the writhing horrors to the surface where they are more vulnerable, stripping them of their advantage and preventing them from fleeing. Then the Prefectus's Legion, which would be back in town in reserve, would advance and massacre the Wyrms. According to the battle plan, Prince Lakor will take the right side, and the Sadirar the left, while the center position will be taken by the Hanjari. Your task will be to hang back behind them and defend the positions with the crystal devices and the shamans. Even though the leaders agree that it is a sound plan, the chances of success are by no means guaranteed. Will the gods grant you power in this endeavor? I don't know. The sun is still low in the sky when the horns are sounded, and the rock plateau and everyone except the main force of the Avernus Legion moves south towards the crumbling watchtower. It does not take long for the Wyrms to fall upon the front lines in writhing waves, crashing against shields like the waves of sea crashes against rocks on the shore. Many warriors are grabbed from below and thus slain or maimed, unable to properly defend themselves in the fine sand. Packs of Wyrms slither between and under battle groups to reach your relatively well-defended position. By then, the crystal devices are still inert, and the Crystalmancers are still performing the incantations to activate their arcane might. As if sensing the threat, the Wyrms direct their breaching force toward you, and now you have to bear the brunt of their attack. Luckily, you still have some tactical reserves to call in. Let's get the Avernus Legion in here. Avernus Centuria joins your Comitatus, and we gain Avernus Shield Wall. That seems good. Joined by your allies, you plunge into a savage battle against the Wyrms. Can you beat them back? 262, easy peasy. Defending equally. Makeshift. Do we even need makeshift barricade? I don't think so. So let's, what if we go, like, overwhelming force by mounting everybody we can? Does not seem like that makes a difference. So let's save our mounts just in case they accidentally get got. And I don't. I hope my slaves don't get eaten. Go ahead. Pretty good. We got 3 wounded people, but that should be fine. How? You fools! Pursue. Ah, we wiped them out. Good job. Did we get these people back? No, they took 3 more people. And we got 1 supply. Oh, devastating. The initial worm attack is pushed back, but the sheer numbers of these writhing abominations are overwhelming. What is even worse, the creatures seemingly have no sense of self-preservation, so many warriors fall to their relentless, frenzied attacks. Then at last, the horns are sounded, and you turn to see the crystals are now floating in the air, and glowing with a powerful blue light. The shamans are chanting their ancient magics. Huh. You lose the Avernus Shield Wall. Rats. The ground rumbles and a terrifying wind strikes the low dunes, revealing clusters of sandworms that are in turn fought on more equal terms. From the rock shelf to the north, the Avernus Legion finally marches to your aid. Sensing their demise, the sandworms try to fall back, but the Sadirar shaman's magic does not allow them to leave the area between the town and the tower. The earth shamans simply shake them out of the sand like playthings, while the gales summoned by the wind shamans reveal their hiding places. And yet the Wyrms are not defeated so easily. They know the shamans have to be slain so that they can get away, and so they attack the crystals in concert. Several devices are close to you, so you take your companions to fight off the Wyrms at the closest. Unfortunately, another one is about to be overwhelmed. Its defenders scattered by the creatures unless you can send someone with a squad of fighters to relieve them. Oh, interesting. All right, go Eilani, go. Let's see, who do we replace Eilani with? I guess we'll bring Harvick. And then Gorgoro, Skornar. And then I guess we'll bring Garrick. It's kind of a weird shuffling of the crew, but I think this is good. You send your companions and some fighters to deal with the worms at the other crystal, while you fall upon the foe at the closest device. The writhing beasts are tenacious. There is a big worm in there, but not too bad overall. Let's see. I think I would like to put... How should I do this? I think we would want Harvick to go there and there? Or maybe it'd be better for Garrick to tank a little bit, because he probably won't be in the final crew when Eilani comes back. I think I like this, because then we can still do the bounce back and forth with Harvick and Gorgoro. All right, Harvick leads the charge. Let's try to take out the Great Worm first. Excuse me. Like that. Oh, a crit for 9. Fantastic news. Now shoot him dead. Ah, you goober. I guess go for the Frenzied Worm. Crit is good. Ah, they love spitting acid on top of Nadir for whatever reason. Gorgoro, rush forward. And hit the Frenzied Worm. Now the worms all get to attack. They're gonna spit acid all over everyone. The story holds true that the worms hate Garrick for some reason. Are, like, dwarves tasty for worms anyway? They really hate Garrick. Holy crap. I guess it's kind of a good thing I put him over there to absorb aggro. I don't know, man. Maybe we swap him with Harvick real quick. Oh, that guy is so hard to hit. He would be dead by now if we could hit him. Let's bust the armor on the armored worm. We hit the armored worm the great worm that time. He missed me. Just a little damage. Yes, great worm down. Let's try to debuff everybody. Got a debuff on 2 of them at least. Crit for 6 is good. And another miss. Go for some bleed on this fool. Reload. Break his armor one last time, and then axe him to death. He will bleed to death now, so he'll get an attack off, but I'd rather... Well, is it better to kill him and prevent him from attacking? It probably is. Yeah, let's just finish him off. I know we could have bled him or tried to bleed him to death, but he would have gotten an attack off, and I think it's better to avoid allowing somebody to attack than letting damage over time kill them. So let's focus fire. Oh, what a rough attack from the greenie of all things. Oh, that's the worst thing that could have happened because he jumped off of the ward. We'll just burn him to death. And now finish this green guy off before he can burrow. Reload. I'd rather not risk using the ward on him. Good job. That went relatively okay. The crit against Harvick is a rough one because Garrick got beat up. Thanks to your quick reaction, both crystals remain afloat, enhancing the shamanic spells as intended by their creators. All around you, an apocalyptic battle rages on, with the Avernus Legion finally surrounding the battlefield. They push in, driving the worms back towards the other forest, where the creatures die by the score. You can see Prince Karim's Hanjari banner faltering as his archers are getting massacred by the worms. Prince Lakor leads a charge personally to relieve them, his dark sword, Megrathang, slaying foes left and right, his blade so thirsty for blood that the magic seems to spring forth from it, waylaying enemies with deadly force. Dude, I want that sword. There's another horn blast, and you can see Kral Hystera leading her warriors from the tower, charging the worms from behind to relieve the Hanjari and Prince Karim. You order your fighters into the fray. The great massacre of the sandworm begins, but there are just so many of them that your work seems nigh impossible to accomplish. You do not know how long you can keep this up. We do have trapping nets, weirdly enough. Use nets to help with trapping the bastards. Horns are sounded and calling the last of the reserves into battle. Everyone is trying to summon the last of their strength to fight on. You receive reinforcements as well. Who would you fight alongside? I liked the Avernus Legion before. That went pretty well. The battle is joined and you get to your bloody work, even though the odds are against you. The worms do not go down without a fight. Holy hell! A 1563? And we gotta kill all of them? Can I? Oh, it's an attack, so I can't even use... Now's the time to use our mounted guys. I can't even use makeshift barricade. It's a 50-50 chance right now. Is there anything we could do to improve our odds? What does flank do? It does improve the overall crit success chance. Feint just makes it more likely to screw up. Intercept. That does nothing for us. Guarded advance. That one kind of makes it less likely that you crit fail or success. It does improve our defense, but we're not defending, we're attacking. So maybe that's not worthwhile. How does charge do? More damage, minus defense, critical fail margin. So it makes it like wilder swings. It also makes it more likely that we fail overall as well, which is not great. What about a mounted charge? Hey, that one pushes the percentage 2% in our direction. I'm for it. What about a wedge formation? That also pushes it by 1%, but I think it would be better to cull the ranks just to like kill some of them with our people and then try to balance the odds that way. What if I arm these fools? I guess that did improve our odds. I don't know if that was a good idea, but it is what it... Wow, that pushed our attack percentage by a lot. All right, cross your fingers, everybody, that we don't get ourselves killed here. It's gonna be a longer episode, but... All right, Harvick, I think I gotta pull you out of here. And maybe go with Ren, I suppose. It's not my first choice, but Garrick's also, like, really wounded, so... Good luck, team. A lot of great worms out there. 2 of them to be precise, but no frenzied worms, which is kind of nice. So, like, everybody focus on the same great worm, I suppose. And try to take them down before they go too wild. Good block. Still annoying that you took damage at all, but... 6 damage from Ren is really good. Good job. I think we try to axe him. Yes! Yes! Alright, burn these 2 over here. You missed the Great Worm, which is annoying. Particularly because he gets to attack twice. Ooh, good miss. That guy can attack from the back row. Good to keep that in mind. Now focus fire the other Great Worm. Rats! Stab him so he can't move as much. Or at all. Gorgoro, get some health back. Oh, crit and broke your armor, nerd. What now? Ah! Krifta, you're so accurate most of the time, but the battles this time have been a little rough. Alright, double fireball the Great Worm. Oh, he keeps evading. The misses are very nice, though. Not that so much. Oh my lord. We've been getting unlucky with those. Good kill, good kill. Go for the exposed wounded ones at the back. Can we stun you? I don't want to click on anybody now. Let's try to stun this normal worm. It did work. I wanted to see, are you thick-headed? Is not. So we could ostensibly stun him. Where's your stun resistance? I have such a hard time reading the stats block. I guess it's under impediment. It's not super high, so maybe we could stun him. For now though, let's try to axe the middle armored worm. Little damage. Double fireball. Man, we cannot hit that Great Worm for the life of us. Gorgoro can though, so that's a good thing. Oh, you evil goon. Alright, ignore this guy for now. Let's focus fire the armored worm. Good job, good job. Double dagger throw. 2 crits, little bit of low damage there. But armored worm is dead. Break the armor on the normal worm. And then throw a I was gonna say throw a ward under him. Oof, good counterattack. This guy healing himself is super annoying. Especially because we missed him like 4 times. Try to kill this guy. The evasion is gonna drive me up the wall. Stun that fool. Burn him to death? Burn both of them to death. Hell yeah. Alright. Ward up. Just guard that cell in case he moves again. Crit for 8, finally you landed an attack. Crit for 6 to finish him off. I can't ask for more than that. I mean, I could, but I won't. Please roll well. Alright, it's not that bad. A lot of our fighters are down. Did we succeed? We did. We rolled a 51. Alright, we gotta keep fighting. Our whole party is kind of on the ropes. So I think it might be better to not call their ranks this time and just give it a shot. Alright, that went worse. But they're pretty dead now. We succeeded twice. Our crew is absolutely devastated, but here we go. Okay. You know, I'm okay with how that went down. We lost 12 randos. We actually didn't lose that many fighters. We gained a lizard just roaming just running around in the sands, and we picked him up. Got a lot of supplies and a crap ton of chitin. I was gonna say, there's no way we can keep all of this stuff. We cannot ditch all of the supplies that we have. Excuse me, do we just have, I think we have too many fighters, so maybe, alright, maybe we do keep all the chitin. I don't know. Yeah, 500 supplies, we can probably make that work. Thousands of Wyrms are slain, but for every single one falling, 2 appear from under the sand, and the allied armies begin to run out of momentum, slowly becoming overwhelmed. The Crawl squad was massacred shortly after their valiant charge. Several crystal devices were toppled, their crystal mancers slain, and the shamans torn apart. The 2 princes are making a desperate last stand, their backs to each other. Even the Avernus Legion's shield walls are falling apart. All seems lost, but then all of a sudden horns are sounded from the rock shelf, signaling the arrival of reinforcements. How can that be? You saw the last of your reserves move into the meat grinder, and then from behind the dunes and the town itself, a storm of chitin and claws strikes out, catching the Wyrms unawares. Yergs, by the thousands, nay, tens of thousands, skittered over the slain from the east and the west, catching the foe in a pincer maneuver, pinning them in for good. You watch in awe as all sorts of crawlers, flyers, and leapers fall upon the slithering enemy, pulling them out of the sand or burrowing after them. The sandworms are utterly decimated. If only you had showed up like an hour ago, this would have been way easier. The sandworms are utterly decimated in a quarter of an hour while you form a defensive circle at the center of the battlefield. When it is done, you join Prince Kareem near the shattered watchtower. You find the prince kneeling next to the bloodied form of Crawl Hystera. Aw, man, she died. He's holding her hand. The Crawl whispers something to him with great effort, and then her head falls back and she dies in Kareem's arms. Surrounded by his Hanjari bodyguards, the prince weeps quietly for a while. You look around to see the unbelievable destruction. The sands literally run red with blood of the slain. So many of Tectum Karvos' defenders have fallen, and the broken corpses of the sandworms lie in heaps like so many chitinous dunes. At length, the 2 princes join you to gaze at the Yerg swarm now surrounding your surviving forces. They barely move. There must be 1 billion of them. The magistrate joins you, his forehead bleeding from a nasty cut. If they decide to attack, it's over. Why would they? Then you catch a glimpse of 3 lean figures walking across the battlefield. They seem not to care for the carnage and are heading right towards you. Once they are closer, you recognize the strange half-human, half-insect shapes of the Iskori. The 3 envoys come closer and then regard your forces with compound eyes. You step forward to greet them. The ambassador sends regards, one of them chitters. You thank them for the last moment intervention. Last moment indeed. Prince Kareem grits his teeth and then yells at the Iskori. Too late, I say. We do not understand, the Iskori replies after some contemplation. You tell Prince Kareem quietly that their alien mind would never appreciate the sacrifices of the likes of the Crawl. It is true, Prince Lakor says softly. We will have to. That seems to calm down the Hanjari prince, and after some formal expressions of gratitude, you begin to walk back to Tectum Karvos. By then, the evening has arrived, and the Iskori accompany you, while the endless Yerg host starts to devour the Wyrms, while the fallen warriors give their final are given their final rites. You withdraw to Tectum Carvos. It is over. The sandworms are utterly defeated, yet nobody is in a festive mood in ailing Tectum Carvos. Prince Kareem tells the leaders to meet first thing in the morning, but for now you all retire to rest and tend to the wounded. You ache all over but fall asleep quickly nonetheless. We're down to 3 people, y'all. We have nobody left to run the Comitatus. Holy cow. We will pause the episode there. That was a wild one. If you guys enjoyed, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more Vagrus the Riven Realms, you want to see the final conclusion to the Tectum Carvos storyline, subscribe to the channel. That also helps me out a lot. But until next time, everybody, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody!